All right, welcome everybody. Thanks so much for joining. Let's jump right into it. We're going to learn a lot about AI today. We're going to do it in a really simple way. So I want to make sure this is a value-packed 30-minute webinar for you guys. Just for a little bit of context, my name is Tim Shero. I'm one of the founders of Cereba Ai. And what we do at Cereba Ai, or what we've done, is we've developed a platform that streamlines the process of building multi-channel AI chat campaigns so that you can do things like schedule appointments, you can get reviews, get referrals, and really anything else that you need to use AI chat for without the need for any coding or prompting or building complex workflows. And then the great thing about what we've built is that it connects directly into your high-level account, your existing high-level account, so that you don't have to, or basically it can just load right into your existing sales process without you having to do a bunch of work on your side. So it basically makes the creation of AI super easy, super intuitive, and then it's also very easy to manage and then switch between multiple campaigns. So today, what I want to go through with you is some of the challenges that you get, whether using another platform or just in general with where running multiple AI campaigns, how you can simplify that AI creation and give yourself an opportunity to scale with these AI chat campaigns. We'll then do a live build of an AI scheduling campaign that I set up for just an example company, a marketing agency that I found on Google Maps, so that'll be fun. And then we'll show you how to connect to high level, how it works with high level, again, very, very simple. And then we'll finish up with a live Q&A, and I'll answer questions that you guys have about the platform. So definitely a lot of value that we'll get from this, and let's kind of dive into it. So just to kick it off, I want to talk about some of the challenges with running multiple AI chat campaigns. So when you have multiple AIs, really setting up one AI is hard enough, right? So if you have, let's say you're building it yourself. Actually, let me fix this for you guys so you can actually see the slides that I'm talking about. Perfect. So when it comes to actually building these AI tools, an AI that's hard to build is hard to scale, right? If you have to build all these complex workflows to set everything up, like a decision tree or something like that, it's going to be very difficult for you to take that, even if it's working, and then apply it to multiple use cases throughout your business. So let's say you find a scheduling campaign that works really well when you're scheduling with new leads. It's now difficult to take all of those workflows and then apply it to somebody who's texting you or reaching out to you after their appointment is already scheduled, asking to reschedule, right? You basically have to create all of these decision tree workflows for all these different use cases if you want to run multiple campaigns. So that's super difficult. And then if you add to that you want to do if you have multiple clients that you're doing things for, now you're spending so much time managing the AI and doing all of these things with the AI that it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. That you would expect the AI to do that type of thing. So that's one piece. Another piece is that nobody has time to train or troubleshoot an AI. If you've ever run an AI chat before, or you built your own again, you will find that you have to spend a lot of time, especially in the early days, of just kind of looking for awkward conversations, dealing with those awkward conversations, adjusting your prompts, and making all these changes in the system to fix those. So that's very difficult to do at scale. And then finally, the other platforms out there, they kind of hand you an empty framework and say, well, here you go, good luck. Hopefully you can figure it out. And then again, you're just stuck dealing with all of these prompts. You may have to write some code, or you may have to create some complex workflows in high level in order to make it work. So that's kind of where Cereba shines, is that we've set up really the easiest platform out there to use, and it's the most effective way to build AI chat platforms at scale, whether you're doing it for your own business or you're doing it for your clients. And I'll kind of get into why, but the overarching pieces are the fact that there's no code needed for this. There are no prompts needed to get your AI up and running. It's as simple as just having a conversation explaining, hey, here's what I would like you to sound like or personality to be like, and then here's what I want you to do. And then our AI in the back end of Cereba is actually what's going to be creating all of your AI chat campaigns moving forward. So you basically just have a conversation, and then our AI takes it the rest of the way. Next, your AI with Cereba learns and adapts on its own. So you don't spend time training and troubleshooting and dealing with issues. Your Cereba AI analyzes every conversation, it analyzes every message, and it finds opportunities to grow on its own. What it does, we call it autonomous learning. what autonomous learning does is anytime it doesn't know the answer of a question, for example, it will send you a notification as the user, and then you can easily update your knowledge base anytime you need to. And then finally, we built everything on marketing best practices, so you don't need to spend all this setup time at the beginning to get your AI running. It's essentially ready to go as soon as you build your AI, and you'll be able to see that by the end of this webinar. All right, so there's a couple things that make your Cereba AI special. It all starts with your AI core. So we have a core that applies to everything that you do in your Cereba AI, and that core houses your company insights. It houses any industry-specific information. It houses your brand personality, and then it also houses anything that applies to all of your campaigns. So if you think about it, your Cereba AI starts with your central core, and then we will have multiple use cases that we call AI campaigns that you can send out there to have your AI bring results back for your business. When it comes to running those campaigns, for example, branching off of your AI core, you can have an AI campaign that schedules appointments to new leads after they fill out a form. You can then have a campaign that takes those new leads who are already scheduled and provides support or handles reschedules after that appointment goes out. You can capture referrals, you can collect reviews, and you can create custom campaigns that do almost anything that you can think of. And then finally, we have core intents here, and core intents are unique to Cereba AI. I mentioned autonomous learning before, where AI learns and grows on its own, but we also have auto reconnect, which allows your AI to follow up as well without you needing to set a task or reminder, or again, no workflows. Your AI will follow up on its own whenever the client or contact makes it clear that they need a follow-up at a later time. And then also we have what's called message protection, where your AI is constantly, like I mentioned before, reviewing every conversation, reviewing every message, and making sure that it's staying on your brand and not talking about any sensitive topics or anything that shouldn't be discussed. All right, so now you know a little bit about what Cereba is, what Cereba does, and how it helps. I'm going to walk you through like a live example. This is a company that I just found on Google Maps. It's just a marketing agency that I found on Google Maps, and I just grabbed them and I started building an AI specifically for this company. So what we do is just to kind of walk you through the process. You add in some information here. You add the average deal value. What this average deal value does is it lets you know kind of right away what type of return you can expect to see from running AI chat or running a Cereba AI. So we basically use your average deal value, and then we combine it with what our average engagement metrics are that we see on Cereba, and then we can show you how much we can estimate that your AI will pull into your pipeline whenever it re-engages your contacts. So here what we just did was I used the company, I grabbed the website, and then I got started with creating the AI just for any information that we can pull online from the website there. Once we have the website, next we go into the personality creation of the AI. And one thing you'll notice as we go through this process is that a lot of the AI creation is done just through having a conversation with the AI. And one of the things that I kind of laugh about or joke about is like, we say all the time, we won't let you build a bad chatbot. And one of the things that you can tell by how streamlined our AI creation process is and how streamlined this chat is, that your chat with customers at the end of the day or your contacts at the end of the day are going to be reliable, because if we're able to build a tool like this that keeps you streamlined, keeps you on tasks, and still sends you all the way through our system, then your AI chat is going to do the same thing. So essentially, anyway, back to what's happening here. What we're doing is we're building the personality right now. So this personality is basically just asking you a couple questions that makes your personality dynamic. It's on brand, and this becomes part of your AI core. So we ask you a number of questions. All of the examples are done in your brand, where we're essentially looking, hey, how conversational do you want to be? How friendly do you want to be? How enthusiastic do you want to be? Do you want to use puns? Do you want to let people know that you're AI? And there's several other things that you get through this process. Okay, perfect. So we just configured the AI personality. The next step after we've done the AI personality is to set up our knowledge base. And again, Cereba has industry knowledge associated with your industry already. So we always give you a starting point for your knowledge base. Again, we're never just going to give you an empty framework to try to build everything off of. We start you off with some standard FAQs, and then we even give you answers to the FAQs that you can kind of put in here. And then of course you can change any of these, and you can change the answers that you can put in there as well. Again, this is just a marketing agency. What's cool about having a marketing agency as an example is that they could use this to schedule appointments for themselves so they can generate clients, but then they could also use Cereba to provide to their clients a new service where their clients will also be able to have AI chat services without the marketing agency having to do a ton of work to kind of get everything set up for them. Cool. So that's the knowledge base. Make any changes, send those through. Then we have the company insights, and these are really just call outs, anything important that you want to mention about your company. You can put in here, you can put your business hours in here, you could put your special offers, you could put what you're known for in here, awards, things like that, and that'll kind of be used in the conversations, any conversations as context. All right, so once you complete your AI core, which is what we just did, the next step is for you to build your first campaign. So with Cereba, you can have multiple campaigns. In this one, we're creating a scheduling campaign. And what a scheduling campaign does, it allows you to schedule appointments directly to your high-level calendar. You can send your messages through any channel that works in high level. But again, this is just going to go through the process of creating this. So we're just going to explain what it is that we're trying to do with this campaign. So right now we want to schedule appointments with new leads that either fill out a form online or respond to one of our ads. What's going to happen? Again, our AI is trained to follow best practices. So it's going to propose an outline of what the conversation would likely look like given whatever campaign you're running. Now, if you put anything in here, you're going to get some sort of outline back because we have processes that we have data that are data-driven that we know work. But you can have it do whatever you want. So if you want to change things up, like I'm kind of throwing it for a little bit of a curveball here, you can change things up and have it be whatever you want. So for example, I'm saying, I don't want to do this. Let's go. Or actually, I ended up going with a recommendation there. But so perfect. Let's see what we get. Great. So then we get an updated step-by-step process with how it works. Now, if you have questions while you're going through the campaign creation process, what can the campaign do? What can't the campaign do? Things like that. You can simply just ask the AI and it'll tell you. It'll tell you the stuff that you can get set up and things like that. So there's no need to actually prompt the AI. You basically just go through this conversation the whole way through. So here you see that we picked a channel to communicate through. So we picked text messages as where we're going to be sending it through SMS. And again, you can do this with any channel that works with high level. So you can do it through Instagram DMs, you can do it through Facebook Messenger. You can set up a comment campaign. So you reply to Facebook comments and start to turn those into contacts and customers. So a lot of opportunity that you can set up with these campaigns just by having a conversation here. So here you also get to choose the name of the AI that you're going to be using. Originally, when I set up the AI core, we did Donna as the example, but I said, hey, I actually want you to act as me, and I give it a new name for this specific campaign. Again, all of these campaigns are standalone or they can work together. So with these, you can kind of make each of them unique, if it makes sense. And then we choose the engagement level. How much engagement do you want to have with the AI, or do you want the AI to have with the contact before trying to execute your goal, which is in this case scheduling an appointment. So we're adding a little bit more information here, and you can always say just give me best practices, right? You can just kind of lean on our AI to do what's right, and then you can make tweaks to it later on if you want. Okay, and here we have, do we have any additional details, specific details that we want associated with the actual booking of the appointment? So here I'm just adding some context saying, hey, I want to offer a sooner slot. If an earlier time is available, I want to go for that time rather than waiting. And I'm just adding some context and really just trying to demonstrate the depth that you can go with these. You don't have to have a super broad basic campaign. You can kind of get really specific with what it is that you're trying to build. And finally, we get a summary. This is what the campaign is going to do based on what we had in this conversation. And then if you want to make any changes, you just make changes to it. If not, you just say it's good to go, and then we'll move on to the next step. Cool. So now the campaign's in progress. Our system is building the campaign. Now we move to engagement questions. What engagement questions are is this is questions that your AI will ask to drive engagement and drive the conversation forward. So think about engagement questions as your conversation flow. You might want it to ask more questions. You might want it to ask less questions. But what this does is kind of gets the other person responding, creates engagement, which increases your booking rates later on. One thing with engagement questions is it's not going to ask every question. It's going to ask them conversationally and contextually, assuming they make sense. And then, and it doesn't always ask them every time. So as you kind of get through, you'll find out that your AI is going through these are the ones that make sense at the right time, and then we're looking to book an appointment. And then finally, we have next we have another knowledge base, and this is just specific to a campaign. So it's specific knowledge that is associated to a campaign, whether it's an offer or something like that. And then finally, we have our digital assets, which for this example, I just used the website. What digital assets allow you to do is provide links, shareable links, PDFs, things like that you can provide to your contacts, and then you can give it some information when you're going to use that link. So that is everything when it comes to the setup of your AI from the Cereba side. So as I mentioned before, Cereba and High Level kind of work together to build your AI. If I were to add a little bit of context into how that works, High Level is going to be your trigger. High Level is your CRM, right? That's the system that you work out of every day. High Level is going to be the trigger, which says, hey, Cereba, it's time to process a message. Now, anytime somebody is part of your Cereba campaign and they reply to one of your messages, Cereba then will take the response, it will process the response, and it will handle any actions associated with that conversation. So for example, scheduling an appointment, updating a contact, sending data to another platform, or a follow-up later on. Any of the core intents that are tied to the Cereba account, it will handle those. All right, so now let's take a look at what this made for us in Cereba. So if you look here on my account, I can now switch over here. This is just the same campaign that I had created already. This is my Cereba dashboard. You'll see that I have my campaign in the system here. I have my conversation flow. These are the questions, the engagement questions that we set up. This is my campaign knowledge. These are my digital assets where I put our website in here. If I wanted to put a review link, I can add a review link here as well. Really anything that I need. And then these are my intents, auto reconnect, autonomous learning, and this is a scheduling campaign. So we have that enabled here. And we have update contact fields on here as well, just in case we need to update any standard high-level contact fields, those are in there. So now, one thing I want to quickly touch on before we get into the high-level piece is that it's very, very easy to make changes to this campaign now that we have everything set up. And it's as simple as just clicking this Update Campaign Context button here. Any changes that you make, you'll never be prompting the AI. You'll never be writing code. Any changes that you make will be done just through a conversation with your AI. And you can very easily just say, hey, I don't want you to say this type of thing anymore. I want you to say this type of thing instead. And you can basically provide that type of content. You know, I want you to more often say things like for sure and absolutely. Let's think of another one. Totally. And without a doubt, to add style to the conversation, right? So then any type of changes like these, it's going to apply just to your campaign here. And then, you know, obviously anything that you want done on the personality side, you can go through and update those on the personality side there. But here it's going to incorporate these in. Just let it know that's all the changes I want to make. And then as soon as this conversation ends, once it gets the whole way through the conversation, the AI will then go and it will update itself to whatever changes that I asked it to make during this conversation. So that's as easy as it is to update your campaign. You never have to go in and try to troubleshoot or fix your prompts or anything like that. And then what we can do is we can just publish those changes to our test here. Now I have my test campaign, and then I can just test it in real time. So let's take a look at what our Cereba AI just built for us through that 15, 20 minute setup there. Hey, this is Tim. This is the company Cereba Digital Marketing. Reaching out because you recently filled out an online form. And then it lets us know this is a test message. So during these test chats, you can't actually run any functions or intents or schedule appointments, things like that, or actions. It's just going to have the conversation so you can see how the AI is going to talk. How are you currently tracking your organic traffic and lead generation? Hi there, we use a platform called Go High Level, and then we also analytics. All right, man, I did not type that great, but hey, it does what it needs to do, right? So, okay, cool. So this is just a normal conversation. Let's see what our AI gets back with. Great to hear, using high level and Google Analytics. These tools, you get valuable insights. What marketing challenges are you facing? We're having a tough time showing on Google. Have you worked with a digital marketing agency before? This is your first time exploring. And what these are just the engagement questions that we set up whenever we're setting up the conversation flow. So we did work with an agency. It wasn't a great experience. I'm not sure we saw an ROI. Past experience, months of satisfaction. Emerald, his client has an account manager dedicated. So now you're seeing that this is something that I put into those company insights there. Now you're seeing that the AI recognized what was happening here. It went and got some information from my company insights to help improve the response. It did crafting strategies. Would you like to discuss how we can tailor our services to ensure you would see a measurable ROI this time around? Measurable, I like that. Great, so we're just gonna say sure, and we're gonna kind of move forward with it. And now, like I mentioned before, we can't, this test AI is not actually accessing your high-level calendar or anything like that. So it's just going to pretend to book appointments. Oh, this doesn't have a slot. Cool. So we're all booked tomorrow with our test AI that we just set up. So, so that's it as far as getting this, this chat set up. This thing's ready to go. It's ready to start. It's gonna act just like this. It's gonna start getting appointments. So now that we kind of see it in action on our test platform here, let's look at high level and let's get this connected to high level so that we can actually start to get some appointments from it. Cool. So then when we get over to high level, I'm going to flip over here. With high level, there's really only there is a simple workflow that you need to set up, but it's so easy to actually get everything up and running. So you really just need 2 workflows. Both of them just have 2 actions, or 1 trigger and 1 action to make everything work. So we have 1 workflow, which we have here, process message, which is going to send our message to Cereba so Cereba can process the message. And the other one is for Cereba to send it back, and high level to receive it and send it out to your contacts. And what that allows you to do is, the good thing about that is that all of your messages, everything that's happening is staying within your high level system. So you don't have to worry about going other places to look for the messages that are going out or the appointments that are being booked or anything like that. Everything stays within your high level ecosystem, which makes everything super easy. Cool, so we have our reply trigger up here, which is just SMS, reply channel SMS, and then I have this hashtag test contact here. But all you do is you add your Cereba campaign ID, you choose your Cereba campaign ID, and then what this will do is this will keep everything. Oh, I should probably change my, there we go. Sorry about that. So you'll have your Cereba campaign ID, and what this does is ensures that the people that are getting sent to Cereba are actually part of your Cereba campaign. If I flip back over to this, you'll see this is just that campaign ID here. And this automatically gets sent over to high level whenever you set up that account, which makes it really easy. You don't need this test contact tag right here. I use that on my side to make sure everything is testing, everything's working. So that's the one you need. Then from there we have a couple other ones. We have Cereba send message. I probably have a lot of these. There we go, Cereba send message. Cool. And then we have a native integration with high level. So we have a field that already got rid to your high level account. It's called Cereba response. What this does is this will, anytime this is changed, so that's what we do on our side at Cereba, we'll change that response anytime you get a new message, and that'll trigger your workflow here. And then you just add the SMS message right here as this field, Cereba response, and that's it. In terms of how you get your contacts added or changed from campaign to campaign in high level, it's very, very easy. You just need one workflow action, and really any contact, anytime they send a message in high level, what'll happen is, anytime they send a message associated with your campaign, they'll be associated with the campaign in Cereba. So what you're looking for from a contact level is for your contact to have this field. What is it called? Campaign ID. Cereba campaign ID. So you're looking for this field. So anytime you want a contact to enter a Cereba campaign, you just add this scheduling campaign ID here. You know what? I'm actually going to just give a real example while we're in it. Let's just make a real one. So if I create a workflow, I'll create a workflow here, and then what we'll do with this one, let's make this one a little bit different. Let's make this so that you can add a add a list of contacts, so you can just drop anybody in here. So if we think about that, we'll have a wait step at the top. Maybe that wait step will be just 2 minutes, so that we can see, hey, this is everybody's in here who I want to be in here. So we'll just add a wait step to the top. Then we're going to do our send message. And this one's going to say, hi, customer contact first name. Saw you reached out to us about digital marketing services. Would love to help you out. Did you guys end up, let's do something like, were you able to find out how to there we go, just a thought-provoking question there. Were you guys able to find out how to improve your organic traffic? Were you ever able to find out how to improve your organic traffic? Great. So now I have this SMS message, and then after that, it's as simple as just updating a contact field. Boom. And I'm going to say campaign ID. And I'll pop that in here. Boom. Scheduling campaign. Cool. And then now this is ready to go. Like, I can drop a contact in here, and I can say, these are the people that I want to reach out to about this. I could put anything in here. I could put my survey at the top, the survey or form that they use to fill everything out and launch a campaign. I could put another workflow that pushes them in here afterwards. I could just go to my contacts in high level, and I could just grab a list of contacts, check everybody, and drop them into this campaign. And then what will happen is those people will receive the first outreach message from high level, and then we'll add them to the Cereba campaign. So all those contacts will be part of that Cereba campaign. And then after that, they'll be ready to go. Any replies that they get, Cereba will kind of handle those replies, and it will handle the messages, schedule appointments, do everything that it needs to do on the Cereba side. So I know we're just about at time here. I'm going to just wrap this up for you guys, and let me just kind of pull back my other screen here. Cool. And then I just kind of want to jump to the Q&A and make sure if there were any questions that you guys can get your questions answered here before we wrap. So any questions, feel free to drop them into chat or put them into the Q&A there, and I'm happy to kind of go through those with you. And I can stay on for a couple more minutes too if anybody wants me to go through those questions. Running multiple campaigns. Yeah, so when you have, so with Cereba, yes, you can run multiple campaigns super easily. Essentially, the main difference on the high level side, so I was walking through how you do those workflows. When you're running multiple campaigns, all you do is just whenever the time comes where they should be part of that other campaign, you just change the campaign ID. So if you think about it from from the perspective of Cereba, they're only ever a part of one campaign ID, which means they're only ever really talking to one AI at a time. Let me maybe give you an example of how it might work. You could have one campaign, and what it does is this one's just set up to schedule appointments to new leads that filled out your form. And then that campaign will end, and you will remove the campaign ID once they schedule the appointment. Now, maybe you have a second campaign, and what this one does is this one takes on more of a customer service role, less of a let me try to get you to schedule, but it can still schedule. And with this one, the second campaign, call it rescheduling campaign, you now put this one, add the campaign ID right whenever they add that appointment to the calendar. Now you have one campaign leading into the second campaign. And what this one does is this one just provides support while they're waiting on their appointment. It answers questions if they have any. And then the big thing is it's going to handle reschedules. So if someone says, hey, I want to cancel my appointment, now you have your AI, boom, right on the spot to kind of take that and say like, hey, I know you want to cancel, but I actually have some availability another day on this time. How about we do that instead? And your AI will kind of drive that conversation. So that's two where you kind of hand off and you just change the campaign ID in that spot. And then another one, common one is to reach out to customers that recently sold, get some feedback, and then do try to get a referral or a review afterwards. So I'd say those are probably, some super standard, really common ones that you see right off the rip. Cool. What other questions? Is the personality the same for every AI, or can you have multiple personalities? So the personality, so your AI core is the central piece of all of your AI campaigns. Think of it this way. This is kind of how we try to describe it. If you think about your company, you could go to any employee at your company, and there is like standard information that every single person knows. Like there's just standard stuff everybody knows about your company, or they should if they're asked about your company. That's kind of what your AI core is and how your AI core works. And if you... So your personality, how your brand voice and tone, that is part of your AI core. However, you have essentially what we call conversational nuances that are specific to a campaign. And those are things that you can just basically describe to your AI whenever you're doing the campaign. So it'll never veer totally off your AI core. It will that's kind of still going to be the base personality, but you can have nuance associated with the campaign. If you need to be a little more, I guess, stern or whatever you have to do for this campaign versus something else that you're doing, customer service oriented, more salesy versus customer service oriented, you can certainly do that from a campaign level. Cool. All right. Any other questions, guys? Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time, everybody. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you guys are in a position now where you can kind of take these and run with them and get yourself a campaign that's getting you revenue without you having to spend any more money on ads, kind of taking advantage of that existing pipeline. So we do these every week, so I'd love to have you guys on again. You'll get the registration in the email, and I hope to see you soon.